Maria Bartiromo still has a program, apparently. She's on Fox. And I don't know where she's getting her news, but she is still like, she will not let go of the pandemic narrative. And this is the other thing that, people forget. Like, I know like there was a new evidence that came out today about that it was possibly like raccoons in the Wuhan market. And again, who knows? Maybe it was a lab leak. Maybe it was a bat. Maybe it was raccoon, maybe from the wet market. We don't know. There's no conclusive evidence of any of it. But the thing that people don't understand and are sort of rewriting history about this is that when that lab leak stuff was shut down, it was not that maybe it leaked out of a lab because they were studying it. It was natural. The story that was shut down was that it was developed in this lab. And the story that they shut down was that this was a plandemic. It's like almost like that whole moment and that whole argument from these COVID deniers has been completely forgotten, where the real story that was trying to be pushed was that this is all a fake, that this has actually been, this is a bioweapon that has been sent out.
The Chinese Communist Party.
By the Chinese Communist Party that was sent out in conjunction with Bill Gates and his magnetizing, COVID vaccine. And all of that seems to be like erased now. That's what was going on at that time.
No, it was just people looking for the truth about a thing.
Exactly. And part of the reason why they erase that history is because they want to write a new narrative going forward. And it allows lunatics like Maria Bartiromo and this supposed doctor who I guess gave himself his own licensing as an optometrist or ophthalmologist, who also refers to himself as a senator and is. Look at this. This is just amazing.
Because the thing is, it was probably the worst judgment, the worst scientific decision in modern medical history to send this money to Wuhan, where the controls in the lab for safety weren't good, but also the openness and transparency of their government has not been good as well.
Yeah,
so this was a terrible mistake.
Well, there were also all these lies around the emergency.
Pause it to 1 second. And just even that, I just really contemplate this. They're studying viruses from that area. What's the option here? We're going to take these viruses and we're going to travel with them?
Yeah.
Is that the option?
No, the
Fly 'em out.
option is that they never do this because they're inherently untrustworthy because they're communists and they're Chinese.
Yep, exactly. We shouldn't be doing any of this sort of diplomatic cross, national stuff because we should be preparing for war.
But also the openness and transparency of their government has not been good as well.
Yeah,
so this was a terrible mistake.
Well, there were also all these lies around the emergency authorization. They needed the emergency authorization to get the vaccines down everybody's throats. But in order to do that, they had to prove that there was nothing else on the market that could actually treat COVID. When we all know Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine were effective, weren't they?
No.
Well, we also know that prior infection is effective.
Wait, so he skips over. Okay, pause it. Yeah, so first of all, he pretends like he didn't hear what she said. Yeah. As opposed to correcting her, the idea that hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin was a prophylactic was, I don't even know if even well, I think some of the loonies did believe that.
I mean, Malone thought it was, and then he caught COVID and is like, well, I guess I didn't get the dosage right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the idea that it's actually a treatment also, we know, total bullshit.
Yeah, been studied to death also.
And to be clear, even his response, even though he refuses to correct her, his response that we also know that COVID offers immunity after the fact. A, we didn't know that for the wild type. It did not appear so at the time. And I don't know if it was ever true for the wild type. We found out later that it was true for Omicron, but there is a cost associated that you can put up against the cost associated with getting a vaccination. That is hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people died when they caught it for the first time, and you don't get to choose. Can I get the kind that's just going to make me immune for the future?
Yeah.
And you don't get to choose. Can I also get the kind that doesn't give me long COVID? So I'm not like, what is it, Inhofe? Or who was it? The senator?
Jim Inhofe from, the snowball guy. He has long COVID. That's part of why he retired.
I mean, you don't get to choose that. So yes, we now know that if you get the Omicron version, it will provide you some immunity from getting it again. However, if you die, you will also have immunity from getting it at the end because you'll be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just like the level of irresponsibility here is just through the roof.
And he knows not to touch it. That's why he didn't respond there. He's, he's a coward. He's hiding from the anti-woke mob.
All the Ivermectin supporters, like Dorr, for instance, like that. This is exact, like when he skips over co-signing her there, that says everything you need to know.
Yep. Really just grotesque.